So the final race of the weekend for the Rotax Max Challenge Germany contingent. It's DD2 Masters, second race. I have seen that Rainer Born is actually starting from the pre-grid. So the starting order will be as follows. Daniel Schollenberger will start from pole position, and alongside will be Michael Becker. Then we will have Marco Winkler in the 566 alongside Andreas Frenzel, who rounded out the top four last time out. Patrick Weinstock and Stefan Grabau, row 3. Klaus Parnett and Leonard Schreiber, row 4, with Konrad Bayer and Daniel Yildiz rounding out the top 10. Tobias Greff, Rainer Born, Nico Heiner, Thomas Piet, Falco Birkholz and Tommy Helfinger round out the 16 strong, but I would imagine that Rainer Born, is at the back, is the end of the pre-grid, and will be released once the start gets going. And after this, we'll round off the coverage here at Motorsport Arena Air in Mülsen, die Kart Arena Deutschlands, with the Deutsche Elektrokart Meisterschaft, which will be a lap encounter as opposed to a time restricted encounter. So 14 minutes for this race here. So Schollenberger and Becker will be the ones controlling the pace. Down to them to make sure that the start gets underway with no hitches, no dramas, no one spinning around before the start gets underway. So every single result that has been called by myself this weekend has been provisional, pending any technical and sporting checks. Post-race, as now we get ready for the final hurrah here at Motorsport Arena Air in Mülsen. In 42 days' time, we head to Western Germany, not too far outside of Köln and Düsseldorf, for the penultimate round of the season at the Kart Club Kaupen Mannheim, a track that I first commentated on in November 2019, and I ended up going over there to do some work for RMC Club Sport. Right, red lights on the starting gantry. The revs build. Are we ready? Lights are out. We're off and racing as they hurtle their way down to turns 1 and 2 for the first time of asking. Schollenberger will have the lead going through the exit of the corner as Marco Winkler goes side by side with Michael Becker and forces his way through up to second position. Oh, and he nearly tangled with the back end of Daniel Schollenberger going through turn 3. He had a bit of a wobble there. That was definitely a clean-up operation, and the trails of Marco Winkler required right there and then. Oh my goodness, Marco Winkler, you definitely got a wake-up call there, a bit like Michael Becker did in the first part of it, because what Winkler was doing was trying to go up the inside through the kink on the approach into turn number 4, and he nearly got the move, but he had to back out of it. So at the moment, they come across the line to complete lap number 1. Daniel Schollenberger leads from Marco Winkler. Michael Becker being challenged by Patrick Weinstock going into turn 2. Keeps ahead. Andreas Frenzel rounds out the top 5. Stefan Grabau in 6. Klaus Parnett. Well, Stefan Grabau looking around the outside of Andreas Frenzel going into turn 4. That's brave, and then some. Now, one of the biggest things here is that Tommy Helfinger is not showing to have completed a lap, so I don't think that Helfinger has started the race. After what happened, whether the mechanical drama has caused problems, not allowing him to start this race, and that could spell disaster for his championship aspirations for this season. He was showing us taking the grid, and yeah, the fact is, yes, Tommy Helfinger is not going to score any points on Sunday. That's drama for him right now. And that is going to be a real change for what has happened here. Konrad Bayer has made his way up into 8th position ahead of Tanju Yildiz, who's made his way past Lennart Schreiber. Heiner Born up to 14th, having started from the dummy grid. Thomas Piet up to 11th, past Tobias Greve. So at the moment, Daniel Schollenberger is leading ahead of Marco Winkler by just under 7/10 of a second. They cross the line to complete lap number 3. It's 3/4 of a second. Becker now siphoning time as well. Stefan Grabau down in 6th position, puts in the fastest lap of anybody with a 52.256 second lap time. So Stefan Grabau, who won a race yesterday and was absolutely beside himself when it happened, is rounding out the top 6 at the minute. Klaus Barnett, Konrad Bayer, Tanju Yildiz, Thomas Piet has got past Lennart Schreiber for the final spot in the top 10. Heiner Born up another position, up past Nico Heine this time, into 14th place. It has been a very interesting dynamic for DD2 Masters this weekend, but Michael Becker coming under fire from Patrick Weinstock, but here comes Stefan Grabau and he's gone up the inside of the pair of them. Oh my goodness, the run that Stefan Grabau had coming out of the final corner, he literally went full on banzai mode and he didn't give a damn what was going to happen. He knew it. He committed to that move, and I think both Becker and Weinstock waited for it to happen. And Weinstock now takes 3rd place away from Stefan Grabau, but that has got to be the move of the season thus far. Never would I have seen that one coming, and it just literally, I think it nearly sucked all the breath out of my body, because looking back at what happened, they came out of the final corner and it effectively he pulled out early, did Stefan Grabau, and effectively Weinstock went to the left-hand side of Becker. Now the positions have rechanged once again, so Stefan Grabau ahead of Patrick Weinstock, but that was one hell of a move from the 555. Well, that just goes to show how things can rapidly change in a heartbeat, and they can send heartbeats soaring, and that's exactly what Stefan Grabau did just a couple of laps ago. 8 minutes and 47 seconds plus an additional lap of this race remaining, and of the Rotax Max Challenge Germany race weekend. As we hit the halfway point after this one, we head to Car Club Kerpen Mannheim in just 42 days. Some drivers will be back here this coming weekend for the Euro Trophy Round 3, and also some will be heading to the Rotax Max Challenge International Trophy at Le Mans, which happens between the 27th and the 31st of July, and grand finals tickets are up for grabs. If you want to head to our Facebook page, you will see that we do have some tickets available. Apparently, I think it's for seniors, DD2 and DD2 Masters up for grabs, and that will be held at Le Mans. 7 minutes and 45 seconds on the clock remaining. It still is the case that Daniel Schollenberger looking to make it a pretty convincing clean sweep as the blue flags waves. That's for Tanju Yildiz in the 570, who rounds out the top 9 positions. I imagine that if Konrad Bayer is being chased down by these drivers, that will be the case. I don't think that is, to be completely truthful, but it could be maybe someone like at the back end of the grid when the front drivers are running in the 51.9s. That is a ridiculous amount of pace from Daniel Schollenberger. Stefan Grabau is trying to close in on Marco Winkler, and that is for second on the road. Winkler has put in a 52.037. He's got the gap to just under a second between himself and Daniel Schollenberger. Falco Birkholz has called it a day and has pulled the car into the pits after pretty much now on 7 laps of racing. But of course that does quickly change. You think that it's going to go into the cart's going to go into the pits. So Birkholz still running, but Tommy Helfinger not scoring here today. A technical drama that put him out of not only the first race but also out of this race, and so he has a lot of work to do at Kerpen in 42 days time. That's just over a month, so probably around about 5 weeks from now he will be looking to fire back on all 125 cc's. So 6 weeks time is when we return to action here at RMC Germany. And then October the 2nd and 3rd will be the season finale at Motorsport Club Wittgenborn, based in Hesse, where we held our season finale last year and crowned our 2020 RMC Germany champions. But there will be some new names to add to the honour roll for 2021. 5 minutes and 20 still to go. Marco Winkler pushing the envelope, but still Stefan Grabau is closing in, and he's put in the fastest lap. He's gone to within 5 1/1000ths of it on the previous tour. Patrick Weinstock puts in a personal best, a 51.935 from him, as Daniel Schallenberger now is being closed in. Marco Winkler smells a victory on the cards. He's got to within half a second of the 5:22, and there is the gap between the pair of them. Oh my goodness, Daniel Schallenberger wants to round this off with a double victory on today's racing merits, but Marco Winkler was 6th in the intermediate classification after yesterday's festivities, and now a P3. He's in 2nd and he's gunning for a race victory. He's got 4.5 minutes plus an additional lap to close up, and the gap now 0.513. And Schallenberger now starting to respond, only goes 29 thousandths quicker than the man behind him, in the form of Marco Winkler. So effectively, now what we have is an interesting dynamic on our hands. Because Marco Winkler is not the only one closing on Daniel Schallenberger. Stefan Grabau also wants an opportunity to secure a race win, and that could very much happen. 3.5 minutes to go. We go on to lap number 13 of this race, and the gap between the top 3 now 1.3 seconds. So 15 out of the 16 drivers still running around the circuit. Falco Birkholz running a lap down off of the leaders. I think Tobias Greif is possibly a little bit further down, and that kart has been stationary for a little bit of time in terms of the running time of the race so far. So I would imagine we could have ourselves down to 13 competitors. Klaus Parnett in the meantime has been passed by Konrad Bayer, but Parnett is closing in, was just over 2 tenths quicker. But now the battle for the lead really intensifies. The gap was 0.462. It's now been truncated by 3 tenths, courtesy of Marco Winkler, who put in a 51.754. Stefan Grabau has also lit up the timesheets, and he's gone fastest of all. 51.504 from the 555, and now Winkler is within earshot. He's within lunge range. He's got the driver in front in his crosshairs, and he's about to pull the trigger, but he's got to watch out because there could be a secondary trigger being fired, and it won't be by him. It will be by the driver behind, Stefan Grabau, in the 555. We're coming into the last 2 minutes. Now it is crunch time. Who is the one that is going to get the upper hand? Well, Winkler, if he gets a good run coming out of the final corner, which looks to be the case, He's right in the slipstream. Across line they go to complete lap 14. Gap was 71 thousandths. And Winkler goes for the lead. Winkler goes for the lead, and he's got it. And Stefan Krabal looking to get past Daniel Schallenberger around the outside through turn 3. Is he going to get the job done? He does, and the back marker gets out of the way. Oh my goodness, Daniel Schallenberger has dropped within 3 corners from first to third, and Marco Winkler leads for the first time in 2021. And it could be an important score for the 566. Switched to Parolin this season, but he's got some time. Well, there is time for him to get away and scarper into the distance. But if I know Stefan Krabal won't let that slide, and he went fastest of everybody last time around. 56 seconds, so we're going to have this plus another couple of laps to go. Oh, and Krabal went towards the outside of turn 2 on Winkler and nearly clashed wheels, nearly clashed sidewalls, but the pair stayed out of danger's way. And now through into the left-hander at 4. Winkler holding on. They've got a back marker just up ahead who gets out of the way. That could be Tanya Yildiz that they've just passed. Well, no, Yildiz has crossed the line. But this is where things get really, really close and tight. 21 seconds on the clock remain, plus 1 additional lap. Marco Winkler has this plus 2 more laps to hold on and defend against Stefan Krabal, and also the resurgent Daniel Schallenberger, who now comes back into the party. They say that 2's company, 3's definitely a crowd, as Krabal goes round towards the outside. Again, the same move attempted, but this time he can't get it done. Winkler puts the car exactly where he needs to. And now we go on to the penultimate lap of the race. Krabal again going to the outside into turn 4, looking to make an unforced error happen, courtesy of Winkler. But Winkler knows better than that. Knows that he's got to plant that car where he sees fit. He's got the racing line. As long as he doesn't block and weave, he's good. He's golden. And now we've got just over 1,750 metres to be circumnavigated. And then we'll be on to the final lap. Winkler looks over his left shoulder, sees where Stefan Krabal and Daniel Schallenberger is. Now the race really begins. Out of the final right-hander, final lap board of the weekend, and Marco Winkler leads it. Stefan Krabal this time goes to the inside and shoots past to take the lead. Schallenberger looking up the inside to take P2. This is going to be close. Winkler did such a great defensive work right up until that point, but he couldn't really counter-attack against Krabal, because Krabal had the real good run coming out of the final corner. Winkler, nevertheless, it'll be 2 solid top 3 results, with a second as long as he doesn't let Daniel Schallenberger get past. But Stefan Krabal has struck whilst the iron is hot and has made sure he's made his intentions. Tommy Helfinger will be having his head in his hands after this very race day. But we have 2 more corners to go. Winkler was doing so well right up until the final lap board came out, but the checkered flag waves. Stefan Krabal wins DD2 Masters Race 2. Winkler takes second, fractionally ahead of Schallenberger by 56 thousandths of a second. Patrick Weinstock takes 4th, and look at the respect being shown here. Thumbs up from Marco Winkler to Stefan Krabal, and a sign of solidarity, and also from Daniel Schallenberger. Stefan Krabal has won 2 races this weekend. Watch out for him at Kerpen Mannheim in 42 days. So Krabal wins it by 0.635 seconds ahead of Marco Winkler. Daniel Schallenberger, P3, 56 thousandths away from stealing second off of Winkler at the line. Patrick Weinstock in 4th, Michael Becker in 5th, Andreas Frenzel in 6th ahead of Klaus Paner. Konrad Bayer rounds out the top 8 in the 5-entry comp cart ahead of Tanya Yildiz and Heiner Born, who rounds out the top 10. Thomas Piet in 11th, Lennart Schreiber in 12th, Nico Heiner in 13th ahead of Falco Birkholz, who rounds out the 14 drivers that finished and hit the checkered flag with Birkholz a lap down. Tobias Kreuf unfortunately retired on lap number 11, with Tommy Helfinger not even starting the race, and walks away with 0 points on Sunday here in Mülsen.